I bet you have PlayStation 2 games in your collection that are worth a lot of money and you just don't know about it. Recently, I have been looking at my PlayStation 2 collection and I was playing some weird, wacky games on TikTok and YouTube, and it led me to think about this topic. PlayStation 2 games, some of them are actually worth a lot of money. And I've got a stack of 5 games here to show you that you might have in your collection that could be worth money. Now, I want to start off by saying all these prices that I'm talking about are from pricecharting.com. That is not the end-all be-all for prices for games and all that. It is just a good, simple place to start with. I want to preface this video by saying that I'm using price charting, but it's not always right, so just take it as a grain of salt. These games seem pretty right. I looked at other places as well, so I'll be referencing price charting, but just know that it's not always gonna be right. Now, I've got 5 games here lined up that are actually worth a little bit more money than I expected. So we're gonna start off with probably the cheapest, and we'll kind of work our way, kind of stair-step our way up. Now, some of these are more expensive and whatever, but these are some games that I think you probably have in your collection, and some of these games I've picked up at pawn shops or thrift stores for $3 to $4. So we'll get into that when we get to it, but let's go ahead and start off with the first game. I got my cell phone out because I want to tell you the right prices, because I'd hate to give you the wrong information. Whenever I was recording this video is when all these prices are. And first off, we've got Metal Gear Solid 3 Substance. Honestly, I have found this game and I think I have like 3 copies of this currently. And so I think this is one that you probably have seen, have come across, or could possibly come across in the future. And first off, loose, this game is worth $24, 23 and some change. That's pretty good for a PlayStation 2 game. And it's about $24, complete with the manual and the disc, which this one is. So I thought this was a pretty good starting point. I didn't want to go to the moon first off. I wanted to start with something that I've seen in a ton of thrift stores. I've got this game so many times. I remember about a year and a half ago, I bought this big bundle from a guy and he had like 3 or 4 copies of this. So like, if I have 3 copies of this, that's $75 right there. That's a pretty big chunk of change. So I thought Metal Gear Solid 3 Substance would be a great place to start, because it's one of those games that a lot of people probably have or you've seen, but is also definitely well worth it. Next off, I want to specify this. I am sorry because I will say this wrong, but I think it's a great game for sure. Lico Melody of Emilia. I'm sorry, I probably mispronounced that like 12 different times, but the backstory on this game, I actually found this at a pawn shop for $2. Yes, I paid $2 for this. I saw the cover and I was like, that looks interesting. I'm gonna pick it up. $2 is well worth it. If it's not a good game, whatever. But if it is a good game, I'll be happy. Now, pulling it up on price charting, I've got loose $37.50. That's absolutely crazy. But complete, this game is worth $57, and this is a complete copy. So I paid $2 for this. Let's say $3 with tax. $3 for a almost $60 game is absolutely crazy. Now, you're not always gonna find these things like that in the thrift stores or the pawn shops or wherever, but occasionally you will, and I definitely think this is an awesome game. So if I wanted to make money, I could, but this one's going to stay in the collection. Moving on, a game that is amazing, and I find this occasionally, and I think it's definitely well worth it, and I think you should definitely be on the lookout for it, and that's Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. Now, yes, the first one I see occasionally as well, but I feel like this one is the better version and definitely well worth the money. So let's talk about it. $40 loose on price charting, which I think is absolutely crazy, and then $47 complete, which this one's complete. All of these games that I'm talking about in this video are complete, just for reference. But honestly, I've seen this game 2 or 3 or 4 times in the last 2 years maybe in thrift stores, and I've always picked it up. It's always worth picking up, and so Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance is a game you want to look out for because it's definitely well worth it. We're moving up in price now, everyone. Klonoa 2 is the next game, and I gotta think about where I got this one. I want to say I picked this up with that big bundle of games that I got with the PS2s a while, like a year and a half ago. So I max have like 10 bucks in it, maybe a little less. I got so many games. Let's say I paid 8 bucks for this. It was probably 5 or cheaper, but just to be conservative, I spent 8 bucks on this. Klonoa 2, it is complete. Price charting has it for $44 loose and $64 complete. So if I paid 8 bucks for this, that's a hefty price tag. 65 bucks for this. I am so glad I got this at a bundle and not at full retail or full market value, because that's crazy. 65 bucks for this. I mean, it's a great game, but wow, this is shot up. And last but not least, we saved the most expensive game for last. Pull it up on my phone here. Silent Hill 3. Now, there's a ton of Silent Hill games, and some of them are worth money. Most of them actually are really pretty much worth picking up, and no matter if you find them for under 5 bucks, they're definitely well worth it. But Silent Hill 3, 58 bucks loose, $108. That's $108 for this game. I don't really know where I got this game, honestly. I can tell you I didn't pay 100 bucks for this. I can tell you I probably didn't pay 10 bucks for this. But honestly, that's a crazy price to find a game like this that's that good for that cheap. Just it's crazy. So always be checking your thrift stores, your pawn shops, flea markets, wherever you are. Be safe about it, but make sure you're out there checking, because like this game you can find in the wild for 10 bucks. Sell it for 110 and be very happy. And so that's crazy, and I wanted to talk about this for that very reason. These 5 games here in total on price charting right now total up to $300. That's 5 games on my PlayStation 2 collection. $300 is absolutely crazy, and I really just wanted to talk about that with you guys. If you're picking up games from thrift stores or flea markets or pawn shops, wherever you find games, be on the lookout for games. Now, I have a problem where I'm not always knowing what the exact price is. Always check what the prices are, because you might be missing something. Like that Art Toning Lico. I'm sorry, I pronounced it wrong. I saw this and I was like, $2 totally well worth it. For it to be worth that much is absolutely crazy. These are PlayStation 2 games that I have in my collection that are well worth money. I know you probably have games that are worth it in your collection, so make sure you check it out and all that stuff. That's all I've got for you guys. See you later.